Hello my beautiful people, it's me, Mihao, and this is my channel Star Parade. I am back. I know it's been a little bit over a month since last time you saw me, but I've got pretty good reason behind it. And thank you for sticking around, thank you for being here for me, and if you are new to the channel, buckle up because I've got some live updates, first most and foremost. This is, I'm digressing. Welcome to Star Parade. It is a channel mostly about cross-stitching, but I'm sometimes tackling different crafts and arts. Depends what I'm doing in my life. But today's episode will be focused mostly, well, entirely on cross-stitching when it comes to the crafts, but I've also have some live updates. First of all, I need to explain myself why I wasn't present for the past month. There's two reasons behind this. First one, and that's the most impactful reason why I wasn't here, was the fact that I've lost my job. And I've been struggling for the past month to, it's over a month actually, because, yeah, it's over a month. It's a month and a half actually I've been absent. It's been hard. I wasn't expecting that to happen at all. It was a shock and surprise. And I've been let go, and I've been in bad shape since then. But thankfully, my partner was so delightful and supportive and helped me through this dark period of this year. And he helped me to pull it through. And I'm happy to say that I found a new job, and that job is, I've been working there for over 4 weeks, and so far it is far better than my last one. Management is on a completely different level. They are doing daily checkups on people. They are asking how we're doing, if we are not overwhelmed by work, if we need any more support. They are slowly introducing me to things. They're not throwing everything at once and go figure it out. They are so amazing that I didn't even know that, management can be that helpful. In my previous job, this wasn't the case. So, and every single time I had to go to work, it was a disaster. So I was happy to change my work field. I'm no longer working in GP surgery. I've moved to the hospital, and it's a little bit, work is more paper oriented, so I don't have as much contact with nasty, unpleasant patients anymore. So, which works well for me, and I am happier than I ever was in my previous job so far. We have to remember it's only I've been there for 4 weeks, but so far I'm loving it. And do not worry about me anymore. I am back on my feet, and I hope to provide by monthly or bi-weekly updates. I'm not sure how that will work because my current work schedule is a little bit different. I don't have as much quote-unquote free time to film my floss tubes. I usually like to film my floss tubes when no one's around, and thankfully my partner went to cinema to watch the new Wakanda movie. So I've got 2 hours to kill and 2 hours to do whatever I want. So I decided to film this floss tube and feel free to express myself and talk about things that I want to, without his eavesdropping. I love him, but I feel awkward filming floss tubes and stuff like when he's around. I'm a little bit shy. I'm an introvert after all. And yeah, so far I'm doing well in my new workplace. People are so understanding and so helpful. They are guiding me on that path because this is completely new field for me. There's new abbreviations, new processes in motion that I didn't know anything about that. But I was so happy to get the phone call, just telling me that it's, this is the guy that they want. Yeah, so I'm in a better place now. If you've been worried about me not being here and not being around, um, I'm doing fine, so don't worry. Next reason behind my absence, it was I've been on holiday for 2 weeks. We've been to Greece. We've done a lot of things. We've been to Athens for a couple of days. We've been to the little town in the, how should I express that? Like on the bottom of the mountain range, and we climbed Mount Olympus, which was very inspiring. And after that, we went to Crete. We visited ancient temples in Crete, and more about that in a little bit later in the video, because I've got a surprise. And yeah, it was an amazing time. Although, because I lost my job about 2 weeks before we went on holiday, it wasn't enjoyed to the fullest. As you can imagine, I've been still stressing about that fact, and I've tried to make most of it. But it is what it is. It was that weird kind of in between situation. And the worst thing about that was that I couldn't even focus and properly on finding a new job because no one will want to wait for me for 3 to 4 weeks until I get back from holiday. And when people will schedule their interviews with me, I'm not gonna be here. So I've decided to try to find a job before I go on holiday. That didn't happen, so I tried to focus on it right after, heavily focus on it right after I came back. So I was pretty occupied. So I do apologize. Yeah, and another new thing that happened for this past month and a half or even 2 months, I got a new pair of glasses. You might probably not notice much of a difference because they're still rounded. I feel like this look kind of suits me, so this is the shape of the glasses that I went again, although they're a little bit smaller than my previous pair, and I think that I preferred them being a little bit bigger. But I'm just trying to get used to them. Everything is still a little bit floating. As you know, changing a new pair of glasses, my astigmatism got worse a little bit or changed. So when I pick up a new frame and just start wearing them, and everything was just floaty, and the distance between objects and myself was a little bit. It was a thing to get used to, as you probably imagine. But yeah, I pick up new shades, new spectacles. I think so. I hope it's not a bad word. So yeah, let's get into the Flosstube. That's everything I wanted to say about the live updates. Let's just get into the Flosstube. So I would like to show you my whips. I've worked on two things that I haven't finished yet. Well, technically I worked on three things, but I would like to show you two things that I worked on whenever I had a chance, but I didn't do a lot of progress, to be honest, on those things at least, because I was stressed about the work situation, So it was a lot of anxiety, and stitching didn't help with it. I was thinking about it night and day, so I stitched only when I felt better within myself. So first thing I want to show you is progress on Ankor's Maya collection, Goddess of Prosperity. So this is how she will look like when she's completely done. Obviously the material will be a little different, and I don't know if I will do the 10 stitch around her. I will think about that when it comes to it, and probably ask my partner and you guys for opinion. But this is how she looks at the moment. So what I've done is during our lovely Zoom with my lovely people, I've did all that yellow over here and added a little bit of red, this orange over here, and started working a little bit on her skin again, because let me just change that light a little bit so you can see it better. Because that's 1/1 and it's twice as many stitches technically, or even is it twice as many stitches? I think it's 4 times as many stitches, yeah, that you have to do to complete a row on the pattern. So it doesn't look like much at the moment, to be honest, because I wasn't working on it a lot. It was just one evening that I've been working on, and I think I did over 300 stitches on that, or maybe even a little bit more. But so far I am happy how it looks. And it doesn't look like much because, well, let's be honest, the backstitching will make it pop. And I was thinking, what should I do with the French notes that this piece requires? Because I've got a feeling that I would love to ditch them. And the reason behind that is I would like to use some beads instead. But the problem is I have zero experience with beads, and I don't know what size of beads will be the most suitable for this. So I'll still have to think about it and ask someone to help me out, because it just gives me, on the chart, it just tells me what kind of floss I should use for the French notes. And I don't know how to substitute the floss with the beads. So I will need someone's help. I probably reach out to the Dawn Stitches or Devon. I'm pretty sure that you know this person. He is the guy that does a lot of Mirabilias and Bella Filipinas. I think he finished his first Bella Filipina recently, and why I will reach out to him in the first instance, because he does a lot of conversion on those. So he will know and he will guide me what to do, because I'm technically doing a conversion. I'm converting French knots into a glass bead, so he will most likely show me or guide me how should I approach that. So I will reach out to him, and when it comes to it, obviously I just still need to stitch all of it. So I think the beads are going to be very last thing that I'm going to do on this piece, because I think most of the French notes are located around their neck and face. So yeah, I will just do that when the time comes. Next thing I want to show you is the caterpillar cross stitch piece that I was working on. It was a stitch along that my friend Chris from Chris Cross Stitch was sponsored to do, and I gave in, to be honest, because it looked fun and it was nice to do something and stitch something with one of my friends, with one of my internet friends. So I'm working on the part 5, so it is second to the last part. This piece only includes 6 parts, and I've finished the, as you probably remember, I finished the sunflowers in lavender, and I finished the fence that is on the phone. It's picket fence, I think that you call it. So yeah, I did just that, and that's the only progress that I did on that, because it was an easy thing to do. When I was stressed out, I only had to do few of like first 4 of them were exactly the same, so I didn't even have to look on the chart. And the problem occurred on the 5th one, just over here, because it was a little bit shorter and I made a mistake. And I made it exactly the same as the rest of them, so I had to unpick it and stitch it again. It was a mess, but here it is. It it's starting to look like a piece now. It's the fence was the thing that I think was preventing it to look like a full picture, because the mushrooms had like little cut-ins into the little stems. So it looked a little bit weird, but I think this fence is putting that piece together. Uh, I originally planned to finish it by the end of the year, but we will see. You know how my plans go usually. I tell you I'm gonna film a Flosstube in 2 weeks time, and then next one comes out in like 2 months after. And I tell you what I will do and what I will focus on stitching, but I change my plans completely. So yeah, we will see how it goes. Yeah, isn't it? Well, that's that. I've got my notepad on the ground over here, so I'm just glancing just to see if I'm not missing anything. I've got a finished object. I know. It's pretty much 2 months of my life that went by. So and I had to finish something, isn't it? Yeah. There was a lot of finishes actually recently on my channel, isn't it? Now when I think of it. But I've got a finished object. It is the Texas state outline. State outline. It's not aligned, but it's a Texas state stitch that I made from a friend that gave me an amazing parcel with goodies straight from Texas, where she lives. And I finally finished the Texas state. She is, don't worry, she doesn't watch my Flosstube. I don't think she even know that it exists. So yeah, so I've made this for her, and it is completely done. It's finished. It was a bit of a challenge to fit this on this fabric because, well, it's a little bit small. But I really wanted to use one of the fabrics that she gave me for my birthday. So I already gave her gift, but this is like a companion piece to go with it, and I'm not really sure. I should be followed. Sorry, I'm struggling today. It's been over a month that I filmed that, right? Last one, so I'm struggling a lot. So I don't know really what to do with it. I feel like I should put it on a hoop and give that piece like that for her, because I don't want to burden her with picking up a frame and going to the framers and paying for it. So I guess I'll just finish that on a hoop. I technically have 2 weeks to completely finish that. It was a challenge because I don't know how that will look on the hoop. I don't have a lot of margin to go. And I also added me and my partner's initials, and also a little home sweet home, because she's from Texas and she's in the military and she moves a lot around the world and country. So I wanted to remind her of her, home in Texas. So that's why I chose this pattern, and I hope she'll be happy. So yeah, I need to go to the store and pick up a hoop. I will have to take that with me just to pick up a right one, because again, not a lot of room to wiggle with, and I don't want to either pick too small of a hoop or too big so it doesn't fit properly. So that's the plan for next 2 weeks, if that makes sense. And I've got also a fully finished object. And this piece waited for framing for, I would say, over a year by now. Not over a year. Maybe a little bit over a year. But do you remember Halloween cats? I finally put them on a hoop. I wasn't sure what to do with them and how to finish them, so I decided, hey, it's a rounded pattern and I will just put it on a hoop. stretch it as well as I can. As you can see, I've used a lot of force to screw this. And the problem is that most of the hoops have a little like a notch in it that you can use a screwdriver just to tighten it. This one doesn't. So I had to use a core strength of my mighty fingers to tighten the screw. And yeah, I finished it like that. I took it to my workplace for the Halloween, and because unfortunately, in my new workplace, we weren't allowed to dress up, but we could decorate our desks, which was fun. So I took that with me, and everyone was fascinated that I'm cross-stitching. It was like my way of telling them, hey, I'm doing this craft. If anyone is interested or cross stitches, you can, talk with me, and if we can talk about hobbies a little bit. So it was my shy way to tell everyone that, hey, I'm cross stitching, I'm making stuff like that. So I just put it on the hoop, took DMC thread or whatever thread. I think I took like cheaper Chinese black thread that I had lying around and just, stitched it into the back on the back just to tighten the fabric. And I took a little bit of felt and cut a round piece and glued it to it. So that's how I finished that. I was planning to use the self-adhesive felt because it's much easier to use and it has adhesive already on it, but I couldn't find it in my store. In my usual store that I go to doesn't supply it. I know you can get some felt like that in Hobbycraft, but we don't have a Hobbycraft here, unfortunately, in the town that I live in, and the nearest one will be in Cambridge, which is almost an hour away. So I didn't want to bother or order it specifically just one piece of felt for this, but well, I finished it like that. And I think this orange looks kind of cute with it because some of the colors are similar, and yeah, it's my finished object, fully finished object, and I love it. I will be displaying that each October, probably on the 1st of October, or even start displaying it in September, because why not? I'm allowed to do that. But yeah, I will have to store it for the next year then, because it's almost Christmas time, and honestly, I haven't got anything Christmassy. I haven't stitched anything Christmassy at all, so I might probably look into that in the future. But before that happens, I need to finish at least few projects because I've got too many of them. I've got over 10 projects in the making at the moment, and that's a little bit too much for me because I want to do some finishing. I want to work on the projects that I started. I honestly I could start something new and start something fresh, but because I have things that could fit into that theme, I'm sure that I've shown you before, but let me have a look. Um, it's somewhere here. Don't worry, it's not gonna take a lot of your time. Where are you? You should be here. Because it's the Fisting Frenzy, the Dimensions kit that I bought in States. I think that's kind of Christmassy, but there's no snow or indication that it is Christmas. It could be autumn. But tell me what you think. I could probably start that. But I still need to wait until I finish more stuff. But that's an idea. Or I'll just buy something specifically Christmas or winter related. I would probably focus more on the winter related things because I feel like with the Christmas related objects, well, technically I could display them throughout the winter, but I feel like this is exclusively like December time. But if you are displaying, like decorating your house on the 1st of November, I'm not judging you. You live your life however you like and do whatever makes you happy. Moving on, I've got some new releases in my Etsy shop. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen them. But this is first of them, inspired by my trip to Greece. It is Athena, and with on the pedestal, this is how she looks, and it says Greece on it, and this mosaic around it is a traditional Greek squiggle thingy that I forgot the name of it. But yeah, this is how she looks. It is a small stitch. It doesn't have a lot of crosses. I think it's less than 4,000 crosses. I'm not sure if I'm going to stitch it just yet because I'm focusing on something different at the moment. But that's one of them, and it was monochromatic, and it was fun to condense such a beautiful statue in this teeny tiny size. And the nicest thing about it that on the 14 count Ada, this oh sorry, shit, god damn it, what is that? I need to blur that out. On the 14 count Ada, it is big as a picture, like a normal standard picture that you put it on the wall. You take it with your camera and put it on the wall. So that's nice. And another one, it is pattern pride oriented. I know it's not June or July. So the pride is over and whatnot, but I really wanted to design something pride oriented because, you know, me being in a relationship with a man, I felt like I should, as a designer, I should have at least one pattern that supports people of LGBTQ plus community. So yeah, I designed this little pattern. Well, it is not little, it's kind of big. Debatable, but it is not a phase, and we've got some pride flags in the shapes of the moon, which, you know, moon has phases. So I thought this is a great pun and, you know, take on those serious topics. And we've got bisexual flag, lesbian flag, trans flag, asexual flag, I think it's gender fluid. We've got gay flag, and we've got LGBT flag. Yeah. I probably messed up this one, which I said is a gender fluid, but I'm not really sure at the moment. There's so many flags that I don't remember and don't identify with, but I wanted to include them in my pattern. And I also, on my listing on Etsy, I've made this particular pattern customizable. So that means if you want me to include a specific flag, or you want me to swap one of the flags with something else, I can do that for you. So if you buy that particular pattern and decide, hey, Michał, I would like to exchange this flag with a flag that I identify with, or this flag with the flag that is more important to me, I can do that for you. It is not a problem. Just hit me up and let me know, and I will adjust the pattern for you. So that is my current new releases, and I've got 3 new releases lined up for my Etsy shop. 2 of them will be stitched by people that I know, so I am currently waiting for the model to be done. One of the people haven't started it yet. The other person, which is one of my lovely Flosstube friends, Ilonka, will be starting it soon, and I am excited to see how she will adapt the pattern that I designed, especially for her. And the other person that I designed the pattern, it was also especially for that person, but it'll be a sampler in a circular. It will be a square sample, but it'll have like a circular motif in it, and it is one big kind of motif with a border around it. So it is not too big. It is if on 14 count 8, from what I remember, is 30 centimeters by 30 centimeters, so it's quite small. I think it's a little bit over 8,000 stitches or something like that, so it is quite quick stitch in my opinion. And also third one, I am stitching myself, and it is a sampler with beautiful border around it and beautiful motifs, which was inspired by Crete and the beautiful palace of Knossos. And it is almost ready. I'm happy to announce that it is almost ready. I'm at 92%. And I believe if I sit and focus on it, it should be done by Tuesday next week. So if you are curious what I came up with, I cannot show you that at the moment because it's still in my Q-snap, and I moved it to the last part that I need to stitch, and I don't want to remove it. And also I think if I showed you the complete sampler, you're gonna appreciate it much more than me showing you bits of it. Also, I've chosen to use the Gentle Art Simply Shaker threads that I purchased. The color that I chose is Wrought Iron, and this is a beautiful black. Let me just pick up my little board. It is a beautiful black thread. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it has a slightly blue metallic kind of tint to it. It is 100% cotton. They are color fast, which I love about threads. I love the threads that are color fast, and I don't have to worry about washing a piece and thread bleeding everywhere. So that's the name of this particular one. The it says B over here, somewhere over here. That means it is 10 yard. It's version B of the thread that the shop made. So what the shop that I ordered them from carries two different lengths of Gentle Art threads. There are 10 yards and 5 yards. And the version B of the threads is a 10-yard thread. So in order to complete that sampler, you would probably need about 12 to 13 normal 5-yard threads, or half of it if you are ordering the 10-yard ones, which I would probably recommend because you're getting twice as much a thread for not that much more money. Obviously, if you're gonna stitch it, I've chose those colors for a different reason as well, because I wanted to participate in the Black Sampler November or Black Thread November from Modern Folk Embroidery, and I wanted to create something for that occasion. I know we are approaching a third week of November, and pretty much November is almost over. But if you are still interested in participating and you are happy to wait, I will be releasing my pattern next week after it's done. Obviously, you will be the judge if you like the pattern or not, but I think it's very adorable, and stitch count on that is about 13,000 stitches. I can tell you exactly when I started it. Because I put that in my little stitch pal. I started it on the 25th of October. 25th of October. Let me have a look. So when I finished it, it should be around 3 weeks of me stitching on it. So it's kind of long, but not really. If you're considering stitching 3 weeks to finish something, it's not that long. And it was absolutely joy. It was absolutely joy to stitch. I only made a mistake once, and I had to frog about 20 stitches or something like that. So It's quite easy to follow, and I really hope that you will like it. And also my new releases, when they're finished, when they're model stitched, are going to be released as well. I will be working on something new quite soon. I always wanted to release a seasonal pattern, so the one that carries from, you know, spring, summer out and up to the winter. And I'm thinking how I should approach that. I've got a concept pattern for that, but I don't know how that will go just yet. Should I have each season separately, or should I have all the season on one and release them in parts? Or I'm not really sure how to release that. So I need to think about and ask my stitchy friends, or maybe you, if you know, if you have any interesting ideas, please throw them at me. And who knows, maybe you'll convince me to do something extraordinary. So yeah, so gentle art. I really like those threads. They are very delicate. I'm not sponsored by them, by the way. I wish I was, because I kind of want the full range of those threads, and I will probably purchase them next year. It'll be much easier for me to own like full palette of threads, just to make a proper decisions when designing my pieces. Sorry, I'm struggling to find correct words while speaking at the moment. But what I'm trying to say, because I like those threads that much that I want to design my patterns, and while I'm taking them into consideration, because they give out a nice look, in my opinion. Not even the Simply Shaker ones, but the normal sampler threads as well. If you want to know what's the reason between Simply Shaker variant of the gentle art threads and sampler threads, is the variegation of the threads. Simply Shaker are much less variegated. There is some variegation on the thread, but it is not as visible as with the sampler threads. So that's why I would like to have full palette to explore both versions and choose the correct colors for the pieces. And I think I'll be investing in that in future. So that is my plan for 2023. Although it is a lot of money I'll have to, you know, use. So it's not gonna happen anytime soon, but well, we shall see. Yeah. What else? Oh, haul. Let me show you a little bit of haul. It is not a lot because of my current, you know, life circumstances. I wasn't able to purchase much, but I don't know if I showed you that on my previous video. I don't think so. But I've got Mirabilia, a new Mirabilia pattern, which is Archangel by Nora Corbett. And I won this, I think, that happened in the middle of September, and it took quite a while. Sorry. Oh, I'm really sorry. Oh, that was rest in peace, headphones users. I'm sorry about that, but I won that on eBay in the middle of September because I really wanted that pattern. I'm not a very religious person, but I've got that pattern because I really like how this archangel looks, and you don't have to be religious to you know, to stitch a pattern like that. And I think this is a discontinued pattern, so I was very happy that I bought it for cheap. I think I spent £10 on it on an auction, and no one else bid on it. So yeah, I'm happy to say that I got it for about a normal amount of money that you would pay for Mirabilia, which was amazing. And I really do like that pattern a lot. And the other thing that I purchased is, if I can find it, I knew I took it out. Where did I put it? Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Oh, here it is. I'm just blind. So I bought fabric. I bought a fabric. Along with the fabric that I'm stitching my knot sampler and the gentle R threads, I was considering using this linen, which is 32 count permin artichoke. I think artichoke. I don't know. You tell me. I'm not an English expert. Tell me what does it say here. I bought it online, and I was thinking which fabric should I choose for my new sampler. Well, this one also looks amazing, this black on this pattern. So I choose two colors. First one was Silvery Moon, and the other one was this Perman. But yeah, I chose the more neutral colors for that sampler. I decided to go with the lighter one because the black just pops on it amazingly. But this 32 count, it is a little bit, a little bit stiff, but it is a linen nevertheless, and I will use that definitely in the future on something. And it is packed in this beautiful little brown bag, so it is perfectly secured in it. So that goes into my fabric collection. You cannot have enough fabric, I would say. And the other thing that I purchased, I think it's the most exciting purchase that I made. It was actually yesterday. Yesterday, me and my partner went to Cambridge just to hang out and go to the shops and see what's there. And there was actually a crafters market. I think it was next to some kind of church. I believe that they are there quite often because every time we've been to Cambridge, we stumbled upon one. And the funny thing is that every time we wanted to go there, we never planned to go there, but we've seen it being set up. Every time we've been to Cambridge, they were just closing it down. But this time we've been there early enough to see what the people have to offer. And there were lots of beautiful prints, beautiful cards, jewelry, leather belts, and beautiful handcrafted items. Pottery, wooden ornaments, and handmade knives, handmade pens. And there, when we was there, I stumbled upon this little shop, with the elderly owner that was made. He was making handmade pens out of the wood, and he was such an adorable old man. And when I was browsing his items, I stumbled upon this thing, and I took it into my hands. I was wondering, what in the world is that? And he told me to open the cap, just to pull by the end and open it, flip it, and put it in the little handle. And look what I found. the one and only dreadful device that we all don't really want to use, but we still have it in our possession. I found a seam reaper, and I bought one. And I had the most adorable interaction with that man. He was so passionate about telling me what kind of wood was that, which I immediately forgot. But there was another bit with like a pointy little thing, and I don't know what is that for, but I hope I don't have to use it on anything. But that's like another bit that I can use with this tool. And when I was observing it and examining it, he was like, well, if you don't know what it is, you probably don't need one. And I was like, oh, I know. Oh, I know what it is. And I need one. And so I purchased it. And I've got one now. And it is an amazing design. You look, it goes back to its little sheath. If I owned, I don't know, a craft store, I would probably buy all of them that he had on display and just sell them online or something like that. Look at that design. Oh my gosh. I'm not really sure how they will handle, because the handle a little bit spins a little bit, but I will have to, I guess, make a mistake and have a look and see how well that works. But I love the design. Look at it. I was so happy about this find, and they weren't that expensive either. I'm not gonna tell you because you're gonna go there and purchase all of them and make profit out of this guy. But I would, if you live in England near Cambridge and you stumble upon this little market in Cambridge, I think that's an amazing gift to give to someone for Christmas if someone is cross-stitching, because he had a variety of handles, handcrafted, and I think the idea of seam reaper that you can take apart and sheath it safely, it's an amazing thing. So yeah, I think that's a great idea, and if I had more money, I would probably purchase more and give them to my friends as a gift. Maybe I'll have to just return there when I will have a little bit more money on my account and do just that. But well, we shall see. The time will tell. Anyway, that is everything I wanted to talk about today. I hope you have an amazing day or evening or night, and I will see you next time in my Flosstube video. Take care. Bye.